ठीक है।
Okay, type of contracts. We have fixed price contract, which is also known as lump sum contract. When the scope is extremely clear, when you are crystal clear, what is your scope? For example, if you want to build a house, you say that I want a house of 600 square feet. The house will have this many rooms. The house will have this kitchen. The house will have this as a separate room. These many washrooms. These wood floor will be used. These tiles will be used. Every detail up to the maximum level.
Okay.
You know your scope is 100% clear. Then you do fixed price contract. Scope is fixed. Use Scope is fixed. Use fixed price contract. When the scope is fixed, you know everything. At that time, at that time, the risk gets shifted to the seller. You are the buyer. The risk gets shifted to the person who is providing you basically services, the seller. Because you say him, let's say you are giving him 1 million rupees, and if he does work in that, it's okay. If he cannot do the work, that is his problem. So the risk is on seller. The risk is on seller.
हाँ,
These kinds of
seller.
projects are mostly used in construction. Then, if the scope is not clear, if we are not sure what the scope must be, then we use cost reimbursement contract. Since the scope is not clear, so the risk is on the buyer. The risk is on the buyer. For example, let's say your air conditioner got damaged and you ask the buyer to come and please repair it. Now your high level scope may be clear that what do you want? You want your air conditioner to work. Now you don't know. The compressor is problem, if the motor is problem, the seller will said that I will charge you for all the material, the replacement of compressor, I will give you a receipt. You have to pay for that, plus you have to pay my fee. Plus you have to pay my fee. So cost reimbursed for all the things that have been replaced plus the fixed fee is called cost reimbursement contract. Again, the risk here is basically on buyer. The scope is not clear. The
Buyer.
risk is on buyer. Time and material contract is basically used when you cannot clarify what the effort is. So you basically say, okay, I will pay by hours, and in hours, some of the time it is decided how much almost work they can do. Okay, for example, if you want some video editing, if you want some visual graphics, or if you want to get some work repaired, you say them, okay, 1 hour I will pay this much. Okay, so fixed price contract, scope is fixed. Cost reimbursement, scope is not fixed. Time and material, effort is not fixed. Fixed price contract, risk is on seller. Cost reimbursement contract, risk is
Risk is
on
on buyer.
buyer. In time and material, the risk is medium on both of them. Okay, then we also have, these are basically major type of contracts. Then we have subtype that come under fixed price, that come under cost reimbursement, that are incentive fee, award fee, and economic price adjustment. Let's say now incentive fee, let me explain it this way. Now a seller is working somewhere, you have given him a contract, okay, do this work, you have 6 months to do this work. Incentive fee is used basically both in fixed price as well as cost reimbursement. So you have given him a contract to complete this work. Now you are saying him that the contract is basically 6 months, but if he completes that contract in 5 months, you will get a benefit. You ask him, okay, if you
Okay.
complete your work before, if you complete your work before, I will basically give you this much amount, this much percentage more of that. Okay. Here you are giving
Okay.
him more money. So if you are doing fixed price incentive fee, the risk on seller is decreasing. If you can do a better work, if he can do a better work, he is getting more amount. Okay. Is getting more amount. You are basically sharing the profit in between. That is incentive fee. Remember, incentive fee is always documented. Incentive fee is always documented, like you write it down. This means the incentive fee can be challenged in the court. The incentive fee can be challenged in the court. If they complete the work within the agreed time, you give them incentive. If they cannot, you don't do. If they cannot complete the work in the agreed time, then they have to pay. So, in incentive, it is beneficial for both. buyer as well as seller. In award fee, basically award fee is just like bonus. If someone does a good work, I give him extra money. It's just like bonus. Award fee cannot be subjected to any appeal or judge or anything by that. Okay, it is not judged by
Okay.
the. It is basically by its buyer wish. If I like the work, for example, a few weeks back, I hired a plumber to do some work. He did a great work. I really like the quality of his work and the time in which he does that. I give him some extra money. Now that was not agreed in that. My contract was basically with him cost reimbursement. I was I was I have to pay him all the amount for all the material plus the fixed fee. But I give him some extra money as award fee because the quality of his work was very good. So that is basically award fee. Then we have economic price adjustment. Economic price adjustment is basically used in the long contract in order to
Okay.
manage the inflation. It is used to manage that. Let's say if we have a contract of 10 years, now along the way, the
Mm,
price of gold, the price of dollar, whatever the parameter is that the world is using currently,
mm,
the price goes up or down. So you manage the contract price in order to save both buyer and seller in
okay.
economic price adjustment. So this is the basically major types of all the contracts. So if we combine them, we have firm fixed price. In firm fixed price, now basically I'm combining fixed price incentive award in that detailed criteria. In firm fixed price, the price is 100% fixed. The seller complete his job, you give him the money. Any cost incurred due to the bad quality, rework that has to pay by seller. The seller is responsible for this. That's why the risk is on seller because the scope is 100% fixed. One very important
Mm,
thing. Let's say in fixed price you change your scope. Now you have to pay money because your scope was fixed. Now you did the all work. Let's say the finishing work was not in the contract. You also asking please do the finishing work. Now you have to pay him money. And most of the time, when you have to pay him money in this way, most of the time the money is more. The money is more. So it is better to use firm fixed price when the scope is 100% fixed. Then we have fixed price incentive free. As I discussed, in fixed price you add incentive. If he does work earlier or better in a good quality, you give him some incentive and that incentive is agreed. In this way, the risk is basically less for seller as compared to firm fixed price. In firm fixed price, the all the risk is on seller. But here, since he can get extra money, so there's an incentive, so the risk is little less. Okay. Then we move to economic price adjustment. This type of contract is used for long period of time and we adjust according to the inflation price. So here also the risk is also come in. If I talk about the risk for buyer, the risk for the risk for seller or buyer, here in fixed price, here the risk is maximum. Here the in firm fixed price, here the risk is maximum for the buyer. Along the way when we moved, here the risk is maximum for the seller. Once again, sorry, I think I have spoken mistake. In firm fixed price, the risk is maximum on the seller. As we go from firm fixed price to economic price adjustment, the risk decreases on the seller. The risk
okay.
decreases on the seller. Let's read cost reimbursement contract. In cost plus fixed fee, here you have to pay all the cost reimbursed and the fixed fee to him. Here all the risk is on buyer. And all the risk is on buyer. If the cost of material increases, whatever, the seller has nothing to do with that. You have to pay him all the cost and the fee that has been agreed. That is cost plus fixed fee. In cost plus incentive fee, you add some incentive. He can complete the work. You give him incentive. Here, the seller also wants to complete the work earlier. The seller also want to complete the work earlier. So you pay him all the fee. One very important point, that is total point of assumption. Total point of assumption. You agreed to pay all the cost, but you agreed to pay all the cost up to some ceiling price. If the cost increases above from the ceiling point, then
Mm,
the seller will be responsible to pay that amount. So we call that point of total assumption, that point above which all the cost is bared by seller. Okay, then we go to award fee. If he's doing a good work, we pay him award fee. So again, for buyer risk for buyer decreases as we move from cost plus fixed fee to incentive fee to award fee. One important thing, incentive fee is challengeable in the courts, the court by the judge. Award fee is upon on your basically base. You are it is not written anywhere. Then you get time and material. We already discussed time and material. It is all about effort, how much effort you give it. Okay, let's see in the form of graph how basically the risk moves along the way. Let's say this is a price contract, fixed price contract. Okay, so we have firm fixed price. Here, all the risk is on seller. All the risk is on
Okay.
seller. As we move from fixed fixed price incentive fee, fixed price incentive fee, if I can put it this way. Here, the risk is basically decreasing on seller. Here, the risk is decreasing on seller. As we move down, the risk is
Mm-hmm.
decreasing for seller.
On the seller.
On the seller, it is decreasing. Then we have fixed price, economic price adjustment, and the risk is also decreasing. Okay. Then we have cost reimbursement. I'll use this for I will use this for cost
These
reimbursement.
are these are all related to fixed price contract.
Yes, these are related to fixed price contract. Now I'm going to write basically. Now I'm going to write economic cost reimbursement now. Okay, so this was basically fixed price incentive fee. Then we have fixed. Okay, then we have fixed price economic price adjustment EPA. This is clear. Fixed price contract is clear. First tell me, then I'll move forward.
Yes, yes, fixed price contract is clear.
Now we'll move to the cost reimbursement. Okay, in cost reimbursement, in cost reimbursement, the risk is on buyer. The risk is on buyer. Okay.
Mm,
This is basically cost reimbursement. Reimbursement. The risk is on buyer. Okay.
mm,
So if we have cost plus fixed fee, all the risk is on buyer. As we move from cost plus incentive fee, risk start decreasing. If we have cost plus award fee, the risk is further less. And then
okay.
in the middle we have time and material. In the middle we have time and material. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is clear.
Okay.